So the weekend brought into even greater public focus what a lot of us on X have been observing for a while, and that is the rise of the National Socialist Network into greater prominence in public debate. So what's wrong with the NSN, and why do I have a problem? The NSN have gotten very good at making a few key arguments to try to worm their way into what seems to be legitimate public debate. The primary argument they use is that they're entitled to free speech and to express their views, whether you agree with them or not, in public. Now, I agree and say that they should be able to say whatever they like in public. They should be able to march at 1 a.m. because they're such brave men. They should be able to stand on the steps of Parliament, whatever. However, using this argument of free speech obscures the real question: what do they want to be free to say, and more importantly, do? They're using the issue of migration and the concern that many Australians have with the current mass migration settings and the impact that's having on everyday Australians' quality of life to basically worm their way in and wedge themselves into this conversation without actually having to explain what they would do about it or how they would act if they were in a position to influence Australian policy. And what we know from history is that the people Thomas Sowell, Joel Davis and others idolise, like Hitler, would do exactly what socialists of any other kind, because remember, Nazi stands for National Socialists, and as soon as they were in control or as soon as they had the levers of power, they would use the power of the state to harass, intimidate and oppress groups they didn't agree with. First and foremost, people who spoke out against them on the right, like you and I. So I think that's the real primary issue of concern here. It's the fact that free speech is being used to avoid having a conversation about what it is they want to be free to say and, more importantly, do. So on the 13th of September, I'm going to be supporting a rally that's happening in Melbourne. I'm going to be organising a number of others to exclude, if necessary, physically exclude the NSN, and to make sure that this is a rally that even more Australians can come out and get behind and be proud of. Because I know that there were many people who were there on the day who would be concerned about coming back if the same thing was going to happen. And I also know that there's many people who didn't go because of what some on the right and many on the left were saying about the rallies. So let me know what you think. Would you attend a rally that was going to explicitly exclude the NSN? I'd love to hear your thoughts.